There's a large number of people every year that are selling a home on behalf of someone else. This is Ron Weiss-Sakarski for the Black Hole of Real Estate. And I want to spend a little time today talking about just what happens behind the scenes when the owner is not the actual one making the decisions and signing the paperwork. Now, there's a number of ways that this could happen, and we hear about power of attorney quite often. So let's just start there. Let's suppose that somebody is unable to sign their own paperwork, whether they're incapacitated, whether they are out of the country, maybe they have something going on where maybe their hands will not physically sign the paperwork. So with that, a power of attorney, that is something that is in place where they can sign on behalf of the owner of the property to sell it. I suppose they could do it to purchase it as well. But they're going to have that opportunity to sign on their behalf, and it works out in most cases. Now, the one time that it may or may not work as well is a little sensitive, and that's when somebody passes away, or somebody's very, very sick, or ill, or terminally ill, or just suddenly dies. And what happens is this: while a person is alive, a power of attorney could do all the signatures and decision making and take care of that piece. However, once somebody passes, then most likely it's going to be the executor of the estate. Now, depending on how things are set up, the property in question may or may not have to go to probate. It depends on what's in their will. And, they could have some of the properties, let's say, set up where it directly goes to a surviving spouse or someone. It might be in an LLC or some entity where there's also instructions within that. But if it goes into probate, then the power of attorney, they're unable to sign. Now it's the executor, and they can be different people. During a lifespan, there could be a power of attorney, sometimes more than one power of attorney if there's children involved. But once they pass, there's only one executor of the estate. So that's something to take a look at. There's other reasons that people sign on behalf. And let's go back to the power of attorney. Let's suppose that there is a couple or two people that are going to make a purchase, and one happens to work out of the country and is going to be away for the closing. So husband and wife situation, perhaps, where one's going to be away on business or family thing or golf outing or whatever it is. They're just not going to be there. They will sign that with the power of attorney stamp on there. Now, if you're going to finance, you're going to have to get that cleared with your lender to make sure that they have the right power of attorney form so that you've got the loan in place. Now, if it's on the seller's side, if there's an attorney involved or a title agent or both, then you're going to have to make sure that they've got all the right forms in place. So when it comes time to make the sale, you can do that. Now, give it a lot of thought, because it's not just at the closing. It's actually at the very, very beginning when you're going to actually sell it. There's listing paperwork. The right person has to sign on there for it to be a valid listing. You can't randomly sign listing papers to sell somebody's house. It has to be shown that you're the owner, the power of attorney, working on behalf of the owner to make that happen. Same thing when it comes to purchase and sale contracts, and eventually, the closing documents. So that's going to be something that you're going to line up, well in advance. And there's good guidance around you for that, because the title companies will be able to assist you. The real estate brokerage also could assist you if you're using a real estate brokerage to do it. Sometimes the attorney's just going to handle everything. They'll know exactly what to do. So always make sure that you're getting advice from the right people when they go ahead and are working with you when you're signing on behalf of somebody else. I think the last thing you want to do is go on the market and sign some paperwork and then find out, especially in a probate, that it's maybe not ready for sale. Maybe a judge needs to sign off on it, especially if it's a sale and then it's tied in and maybe the mortgage is behind, or maybe a number of people, at least one is going to sign off. There could be multiple people that need to sign off. And within the contract or the offering that you're signing, it might say subject to third-party approval or subject to a third-party approval and attorney approval. There's a number of ways that you can go about it. But again, it all comes back to setting the expectations up front and getting good guidance from all the experts around you that know exactly what to do. So if you're thinking of selling a home on behalf of somebody else, and being their power of attorney or their executor, easy. if you're in a situation where you want to do estate planning or life planning and you want to have those things in place, or maybe just go on a vacation and you want somebody else to sign for you while you're gone, just make sure you got your ducks in a row. If you got any questions about this, drop it. It's a comment over here. It's not a simple topic at all, but for today, let's keep it easy breezy. There's a path and there's a system that's in place to make sure that you can do this. This is Ron Wysakarski for the Black Hole of Real Estate.